Welcome to the Cayman Islands Classic, and after 2 days of incredible games, we are down to the final matchup of the tournament with the 6th-ranked UConn Huskies taking on the Kansas Jayhawks to wrap up the inaugural Women's Cayman Island Classic. And the Jayhawks taking on the Huskies here at John Gray Gymnasium. We have the results from the prior 3 games, and this is how everything has panned out. It's been so much fun. So that game against UCLA, she'll be coming off of the bench. And we're underway with the Jayhawks, starting off with the rock first. Our officials for tonight are Gray Vasily, Foxy Sissoko Stevens, and Meadow Overstreet. And this is what I've been anxious to see, is how are they going to play Tiana Jackson? They elect not to bring the double. They're going to go one-on-one. Aaliyah Edwards and Jackson inside, and Jackson makes her pay. Jackson coming off of the game, as we mentioned just earlier, against Virginia Tech. A little bit more dominant within this game.
Yeah, she was so limited because of those fouls. And not only did it limit her in terms of time on the floor, but just in the way she played, because she had to be safe when she was on the floor. She was going up against a huge opponent in Liz Kitley.
Vivette Mayberry had a nice look at the rim, but couldn't knock it down. But on the other side, Ashlyn Shade gets the first point for the Huskies in her first start.
Well, I'm laughing because there's something that happens, you know, you get your first start as a freshman for UConn, by the way. You know, I mean, this is not for some little small town team. And the first 2 shots of the game are taken by the freshman. I love it. But how about Mayberry getting her shot to fall from the corner?
Mayberry ended the previous game with 6 total points, but this is a player that can get things done a little bit on the floor. And just through his tenure alone has brought KU back to NCAA tournament in the prior season. A foul on this side of the ball will bring free throws on the way for the Jayhawks.
Or she will pass it out of the double. Came back for this season, of course, could have elected to go to the WNBA, but wanted another season in NCAA to help perfect her game, move her to another level. And I know there are WNBA scouts interested in the way she plays, and I think she's going to have a tremendous year.
I think that's textbook for Paige Becker in 2006. Not happy with his team's effort across the board against UCLA, down by as many as 23 points.
Griffin to take some shots.
Griffin almost had a double-double last night, had 11 points to add 7 rebounds as well. But a fearless player, very long athletic frame, getting to the bucket. Aaliyah Edwards, we're seeing more of a sense of urgency on the inside from Edwards. So back in the same area
for the Jayhawks, because you have lost the go-to. I will watch it and be like, how is that not 3 steps taken? That's exactly what happened right there on the sideline. Great call by the
Nichols going into the chest of Ashlyn Shade. Gill, ball over her head. She's gonna have to make something fly. Gets it off the rim, but no one underneath for the rebound for the Jayhawks. Beautiful dish on the inside, and Aubrey Griffin gets the assist. Samaya Nichols, a player that you had highlighted at the beginning of the game right now. 1 for 3 from the field, 2 points. Dish on the inside, Nika Mule, all the way to the rim, gets the and 1. For Coach Schneider and the Jayhawks, as he had front court foul trouble for his bigs, and a foul is going to go against UConn. Kansas hit 4 triples last night. Beautiful dish on the inside.
Yeah, right now, because of the Princeton offense,
a minute to play, Ice Brady is able to send that one up.
14-4 is the rebound differential in favor of the Huskies.
Ice Brady. Mayberry thought about it, decides to reset everything for the Jayhawks.
score. Obviously, with Tiana Jackson out with foul trouble, they have not had
Oklahoma. And knocks down the second of the pair at the free throw line. 29 seconds, shot clock off. So Nika Mule holding for the last second shot. KK Arnold didn't like the look on the inside, crossing over, going at about 2 defenders, finds Edwards on the baseline, who's able to get it to go at the buzzer.
Leah Edwards, not just a back-to-the-basket post player, stepping out, taking the 15-footer ball in the high post, look to drive and draw another foul against Tiana Jackson.
Yeah, back in the ball game after sitting most of the first quarter with 2.
And that's exactly what happens. And you got to give that to her. That is the struggle with being in foul trouble. You can't play your normal defense, and Jackson is a paint protector. She is so difficult to get shots in over.
Top of the key, shot by Frank. Eight-point ball game with the Jayhawks with the possession, working the baseline, and after some time goes off the shot clock.
Those players that I think could have a big night. She averages 18 a game, only had 5 in the game of what Kansas does.
Knocks down the free throw, 4th in the conference and free throw per.
Say thank you to a few people. Joe Wright, the CEO, and Victor Ogaro, the president, Jill Turk, Chief Strategy Officer, Al Wilson, Legal Counsel, and man, have we loved Al and everything he's given us as UConn gets a bucket. Joanne P. McCallie, Executive Tournament Director. All these people put together this wonderful tournament. We got to interview Joanne P. McCallie earlier today, and she was just so wonderful to hear from a former big-time coach, coached at Michigan State and Duke, and she helped put this tournament together and had the vision for it. And wow, it's been so impressive.
And if you talk to any coach, as Jackson scores on the other end, they'll tell season.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, if you're like a sort of basketball fan, you wouldn't have thought that there were going to be some good games in this one. Maybe you would have seen 1 or 2 on the list, but really, we have had excellent games.
Yeah.
Only women, and she's essentially was the big.
At the rim. And now it's both down. And it's just been a struggle underneath with the 6'6" frame for Tiana Jackson. Just can't hold on to it. Her teammate trying to see if they can get one at the rim. Nothing there. And it's a 3-on-1 look for UConn. Bounce pass goes out. Ashlyn Shade knocks it down from the baseline. Well, Franklin kind of scoops that one up. I'm not even sure if she knew where that one was going, but gets the 2 either way as we're less than a minute to play in this one. Edwards, easy look on the inside.
Yeah, you've got to be watching on defense. The help side needs to be there. That is way too easy for Aaliyah Edwards.
6-point game as we're less than 40 seconds from closing this first half out. Nichols asking for the screen, then denying it. Gets the edge over Aaliyah Edwards and is able to. Only 7 minutes so far in this ball game.
And so both superstars on.
But in different ways, though. For Tiana Jackson, who is more of that front court presence, you know where the emphasis is, but they showed that they could keep the game close against Virginia Tech. Paige Eckers is the match for this offense, and coming off 30 points. Yeah. Who's the next person to like really fuel it? A couple of people have been able to step up. This one coming out deep by Ashlyn Shade as she got the start today. Who else is going to be that person that extends this lead for UConn? 5 on the shot clock.
We've mentioned Aubrey Griffin's name a lot.
And that's going to be a shot clock violation and frustration on the UConn bench as they'll give it back to Kansas with 1.4
Run my stuff. You got to know what you're doing. I want you to do things quickly.
Full court heave, no good for the Jayhawks. That will bring it to a close. And UConn only up 5 against the Jayhawks.
9 assists. That's not a lot for a UConn team, but honestly, it's because Paige Beckers just was trying to score on her own. She needed to.
9 assists, 22 made field goals, and as you mentioned, 5 of them coming from Paige Beckers. Didn't take long at all.
No. Came off a screen, got a pass, and put it in. Double screen, in fact. Curled. Drew the defender into the screen, which I don't know why, but people do not do. The screen is coming, not coming off those screens shoulder to shoulder. I mean, we're there to set them.
But you mentioned it. I mean, if you're going textbook, if you're breaking down Paige Beckers, it's not even just a shoulder to shoulder. It really comes down to even the footwork going into your shot. As Jackson is able to get an offensive board, draws a foul there, she'll get 2 free throws on the other end. Had a birthday, Virginia Tech. Had the 4 fouls, but says it's a new day, wanting something different. The dish pass, Aaliyah Edwards was not looking at it. Ashlyn Shea tried to get it on the inside, and of course the speedy Yvette Mabry. Three minutes into this ball game, Huskies. Paige Beckers finds her at the top of the key. Rare miss at the top from Paige. First feeder, starting the transition, Mayberry. And that was just an easy look at the rim.
Yeah, poor communication for UConn. China Jackson too strong on that one. She's got to use the glass in those scenarios.
Backdoor by Paige Beckers, one of the best players when you're seeing moving off the ball as Edwards steps in for 2 and gets it. Foul. Just to check and see if it was egregious or anything that needs to be upgraded. They said it was just a normal foul call there as UConn got the ball back and Paige Beckers gets the bucket out of the timeout.
We talk about not needing a lot of space and time.
Jackson might be the smoothest move we've seen from her tonight.
Yeah, so no Edwards allows Jackson to play on a shorter defender.
That'll be another foul that goes against Jackson as the duck-in by Aubrey led to her now completing a 3-point play.
Yeah, definite breakdown for Kansas as they're watching this lead continue to grow for UConn. And look at the sagging, man. There are players almost 4 players in the lane at every time for UConn, but still, Kansas able to finish.
Yeah, there was Samaya Franklin. Picks up her first. Paige trying to get crafty with how she picks up her points, and Aubrey Griffin. These fans should be really excited about what they get is ripping it off the glass, right? Could have taken it out, pass it out, reset a little bit. Deciding in that moment to say, no, I'm gonna finish this on my own.
Yeah, I'll take this one.
Makes it an 8-point lead for the Huskies. Mayberry with the response from the corner, and it's just the response for the Jayhawks being able to go tit for tat, but they want to find a way to get a defensive stop at some point. Here comes Griffin. It's Brady at the top of the key for the long 2.
Well, she needed that one. She was over in this game. That's a good look from the top.
Less than 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. We've gone back and forth for a first half that didn't have much offense in it, 25-20. We're seeing a little different look from UConn. Off the glass, nice kiss from Zakiya Franklin. Here we are.
I remember this from yesterday.
Yes.
I know this story.
A gentle reminder from Paige Beckers as they knock down their first 3 of the night.
Oh.
Paige with the steal and the bucket back-to-back for UConn. That's going to lead to a timeout. There she goes. UConn sitting at 20 and Kansas at 15. Mayberry coming off the screen. Fake on the inside. Franklin finds the rim. Perfectly hot back there because that's how often she is within the lines trying to perfect her craft. Wow. Like that.
Yeah. And that's where the injury to AZ Fudd, you just wonder what those two, how special this year, could have been. Of course, you hate even saying that, but the two of them together with this UConn team would be very different.
And two, coming off of a season where all the attention was going towards, as the Jayhawks knocked down a 3, going towards LSU, and everyone wondering why they weren't, picked preseason first. And she was like, we got to prove it.
Yeah.
We have a chip on our shoulder, and not being at full strength is tough to do that, but missed opportunity is back-to-back threes as Nichols knocks that triple down. Back to a 2-possession ball game, Kelly.
And I was thinking they were going to keep Jackson out for the quarter. And the official,
Amari DeBerry will. Paige Beckers almost comes up with yet another steal. Doesn't get the steal, but gets the deflection that goes off the Jayhawks. And now they get another opportunity to hold the ball for the last second in this quarter.
That's a baller. Jump in the passing lane. Kansas has to make better decisions. You cannot give possessions away.
Night turnover for the Jayhawks. Paige trying to get to her spot on the floor. Steps back, top of the key. Money ball.
So that deflection, which turned into UConn possession, just turned into 3 more points.
Paige trying to shake that off. Mayberry just ducking her head underneath Jackson, able to draw the foul. Seems like she's been hobbling a bit within this tournament as well.
Yesterday, maybe a 50-point night?
Maybe 60.
Maybe.
From
right.
Caitlin Clark that we're seeing now.
Right. I mean, she's up there is what I mean. Like,
oh, okay.
I thought, no, I'm not going number 1. Yeah, no, I want to make sure I'm not saying that. Because as soon as I said, I was like, one of, because I thought Diana. I was like, I don't know.
So a team that didn't have any triples in the first half now have 3. Paige Beckers had the first 2. Kaden Samuels knocks that one down. A deep pin by Jackson, able to get that off the glass.
And that work starts early. Jackson is getting her deep before she catches the ball so that when she turns and spins, she has the location she wants on the low block.
The duck in underneath. Looked off for Amari DeBerry, and a block call underneath. That's going against the Jayhawks. Look, Griffin had 11 points and 7 rebounds against UCLA last night.
12 putting a lot of trust right now into his young players.
We saw KK Arnold get the start yesterday, her first career start. You get Ashlyn Shea got the start today, and a lot of contact underneath. I think this is Ice Brady. Actually, no, it's going to be Amari DeBerry, I believe. And the question that we had was it a basketball play? That offhand trying to hold off, and you can see a lot of guards try to do that if they don't have the advantage with the length, trying to hold off the block.
Yes.
So
and
they did catch that.
Had she stopped,
we did a great job there. To get a reset because of the announcer. Is available to shoot the free throws as one of the best free throw shooters on the team. She now
with a wrap around that left thumb. I do not know the story there. We have not been told this year as well.
KK Arnold put herself in a very precarious situation, knowing that she can get the ball in backcourt. Mayberry with the assignment for Paige Beckers. As Cadence Samuels, Aubrey Griffin, able to finish on the other side. This is the biggest lead for UConn as Mayberry has a canny ability of just Mayberry has been to the free throw line the last 2 times for the Jayhawks. Knocks that one. Mayberry has been the one-woman show, trying to get to the rim, and yet another offensive board for Jayhawk as we're approaching the last few minutes of this ball game. Jackson had the switch on Paige Beckers that time, and so what about the take on the inside? KK Arnold. What do you want to see from the Jayhawks down the floor this trip?
Well, I'm probably going to say Jackson because I just love the fact that, Leah Edwards still not in this game, and Ice Brady has not defended Jackson as well as Edwards did.
4 shot at the rim, the rebound and the putback by Samaya Nichols. While to get adjusted in the first half, but you can see them starting to piece things together in the second half, and of course being led by Paige Beckers.
Yeah, and other players emerged too. You saw Ashlyn Shade get the start tonight, and she played well, had some good minutes for them, scored some points early, and now.
And here's your player of the game, Samaya Nichols at the free throw line. Franklin going at KK Arnold, pulls up the lefty, short on the shot, and Jackson is going to pick up her 4th foul. On a team, it would definitely have to go to Aubrey Griffin.
Yeah. We've said her name so much tonight and yesterday, but we said it early too, and you think about how you start off a game and to come in and know you just had a loss against a very good UCLA team. You're curious to see the way UConn responds, and Aubrey Griffin, she responded incredibly well. And how about the hook off the glass for Franklin? Amazing.
That's the 3rd look on for Franklin, knowing that she is a lefty, but so crafty with finishing at the rim. Paige finds a spot on the floor, in and out. That's ripped down by Kirsch Dieter. Franklin, Jackson running to the rim and finds a nice easy look on the inside and beating Huskies down. It's just a 5-point ball game with less than 140 in this ball. So a time
to stall. Kansas, of course, not needing to foul.
Knowing that if there is a foul on either end of the floor, that there will be free throws, but you don't want to give up an easy 2.
And that was easy. No help coming over.
So as we're approaching the 1 minute mark, 7-point lead for the Huskies, and they'll continue to take some air out of the ball.
Yeah.
At what point do you say, should we foul to get some extra possessions?
It almost looks like they have conceded the loss, which does surprise me.
Jackson actually fouls out of this ball game. And tough tournament defensively for Jackson.
Yeah, 2 quick fouls in both games.
One for yourself as well in others.
That's the perfect example right there. It's exactly what Georgia Amor did after that very poor first half for her in terms of turnovers and lack of points. She came in the second half and was a different player.
So a foul on the baseline. This one is going to go against Holly Kirschcheater. They wanted more of an excessive foul.
Next to her, she grew up in Hopkins, Minnesota, and from Edina, Minnesota. So we would.
Izzy Fudd's mom.
I know, right?
All right.
I aged myself right there. By the way, that is a weird world. You're not there yet, but
I
to
am not.
feel like you.
Conference scheduling tournament as well. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a better place, not a better partner, not a better group to be doing this with. Flow Hoops, KMAX Sports.
That teams were having the best time that they could and the best competition on the court. You know, in the beautiful Cayman Islands. So our producer Lucas Haskins, Cruz Sanchez, our director Tyler Larkin, Scott, Liz,
And I mean, just top-notch tournament. Looking forward to seeing the future of this. Of course, this is the inaugural event.
Yeah.
And unbelievable job by Joanne P. McCallie to get 4 top 10 teams amongst already signed up to come out to the Cayman Islands Classic. So
to leave snow.
yeah,
You
there
might
you
want
go.
to make let that be convincing enough as we're looking at the all-tournament team for the second portion of today. As Anissa Morrow, she was so good for LSU all week long. Virginia, down to Vaughn. Oh my goodness. We can go on and on and on about what she's been able to do for Virginia, UConn, Paige Beckers. No surprise there. And Kansas, Ayanna Jackson walking away.
I love the fact that
after big bucket. Sam Brunel, another player that actually got the start for the first time this season, coming back from last year's injuries. So just good to see them on the floor as UConn, after taking the loss to UCLA last night, bounce back and get the win against Kansas. And so they will move on to 4-2 on the season.
a great effort by Kansas. Unfortunate with the foul trouble early.